Aloha, friends and family. This might just be a meditation video where we watch the sun come up together and listen to nature. It's so beautiful. See if I can get a little more sky in there. But I think we could discuss that old adversary, the devil. Once again, if our thoughts and intentions and imagination creates things, obviously it doesn't just mean good things or what we would consider good things, right? And so if you had a whole, well, even one person, but if you had one person but more power to it, right? The more people that add to it, meaning add to the imagining. Let me move my chair. The more power it's going to have to manifest. So for like thousands of years, we've been imagining an entity contrary to first cause. And we'll just call it Satan here because everybody's familiar with that. And that has created an egregor. So is it real or unreal? Well, it's real to people in third density consciousness. It is unreal to those beyond the veil or those beyond third density. It's an egregor. It's a thought form. Not real in and of itself, meaning, excuse me, if we went back to first cause, all right, and we're gonna say first cause is the sun as a metaphor. If first cause is the sun or the absolute, and all the rays of the sun are the relative, then as we would examine all these rays, right, millions of rays coming from the sun, do you think we would find one of those rays and say, oh, I found it, here's the devil? Because if we trace that ray back to its source, the sun, the absolute, it would be connected to it. It would be emanating from it. And so you have to answer the question for yourself. Do you think the devil is one of those rays emanating from the absolute? I do not. So that shows us very clearly then it wasn't real until we imagined it and made it however real it is. And again, it's only real to those susceptible to the influence of an egregor, which is a thought form, in third density or below. Beyond third density, there are no egregors. Beyond the veil, there are no egregors. They have no power, no influence. They're seen for what they are, thought forms, co-creations of a group of people that, again, have imagined it. Now, could we not apply this same reasoning to any and all deities, including the so-called good ones? And I was going to name one and name Jehovah, but if you understand what the word Jehovah actually means, it's actually saying, it's actually revealing that you are God. There's no way around it. Jod He Vav He. The first three parts are you become aware of something, you become aware of being that something, and then using that trinity, if you will, you manifest a reality, a world to which you could go into, walk, breathe, talk, and observe, thus coming to know yourself. And what is in that world? Just like I said in yesterday's video, what was the environment that we were manifested into, or that we manifested? It's nature, right? It's all the natural beauty and wonder that surrounds us. So where did that come from? Where did that come from? That came from within the Creator, who became aware and became aware that he was that awareness. So he said, you could think of it like this. He said, okay, I'm going to manifest everything that's within me, outside of me, so I can experience it hands-on, right, if you will. And so, he didn't, we, he, they, she, us, we didn't manifest some burning Mars planet with hurricanes the size of our country and lava spewing everywhere and toxic gas spewing everywhere and a hellish experience, right? Because that is not what is within us. Or if you still are in separation, that is not what is within the Creator. But what is? Well, listen, hear that bird? Hear the birds? See the low level of the light as the sun's rising in the east? See the different textures of the plants and the colors of the greens and the beauty of the flowers? On and on and on. That's what's within you. That's what is within the Creator. And so that is the environment we manifest. And None of these egregors are a part of that, especially the bad ones, or what we would call the bad ones. So they're just thought forms, and they only are real to those in the lower astral plane. And again, who's to say, or should we not say, that whatever that egregor is doing is just yet more imagining? So we could say their imagination has run wild. They lost the divine connection to their own imaginations and imagined all these contrary to first cause things. Because again, if the sun, in the metaphor, the sun is the absolute and the rays are all the relative, then there's millions and billions and trillions of rays coming from that sun. And each one of those rays is a man, is a dog, is a person, is this, is that, the other, through the whole range of spectrum of things, or creations, or manifestations. And all of them are connected to that sun. Without that source, none of them exist. So couldn't we conclude then every single thing in our world is part of the absolute, or all of it in totality is the absolute? And if we go even further and deeper, we realize that we are that absolute. And that all of this external manifestation is coming from within us. Just exactly like it did at the very beginning when we became aware. Jod. And then we became aware of something. Hey. And then we became aware that we were that something. Vav. And then we manifested an environment that reflected and expressed all that we were. Hey, Jehovah, that's the secret name of God. See, I used to put Jehovah in the category of egregor, and I think it's been made an egregor. Again, it's been made something separate. Anytime you get away from the fact that every single thing here, there, and everywhere is the totality of this original first cause, then you're getting into what the Bible would say, or says, is vain imaginings. Vain imaginings, or like I say, your imagination has run wild. You've gotten away from how and what the imagination is and how it is used, how it is utilized for your benefit only. Your imagination is only the creative tool for your benefit. I mean, why would anybody imagine anything that was to their detriment? That would just immediately be recognized as foolish. But yet we've done that very thing in our ignorance, in our waywardness, in our vain imaginings, in our separation from first cause. And then we got lost and confused and taught. See, we were all taught this, so there's no condemnation for anybody, any of us, anybody that's even still in the matrix and totally lost and thinks deities are real, and they're trying to please the good deity on the one hand, and they're trying to resist the bad deity on the other hand, and they're in that whole ping pong game of, which deity's gonna win out. It's all vain imaginings. They're not real. You are the absolute. You are one with the absolute. If you can't say that you're the absolute because it's just too much of a stretch for you right now, then just go back to you're one with the absolute. Okay, and if you're saying you're one with something, then you are that something. So it's just hair splitting. Because again, we have been programmed to imagine that we have been separated from first cause, that we are different from it, that we are less than it, that we are in need of its saving or whatever. And okay, we're in need of some sort of saving, yes, but there's no egregor and no thought form going to do that, because again, it's a vain imagining. You have this power. You are one with this power, so you are the saver. And you simply are saving by coming back to the knowledge and, rejecting all the vain imaginings. It's really just the whole deal is getting the use and the purpose of your own imagination back in order. In other words, imagining the way you did originally when we first manifested this amazing creation. And then we're able to walk and talk here and breathe here and eat here and experience here. It seems logical, right, and practical to say, well, all the people doing wickedness and bad things, must be see, they believe in the egregor. And again, the egregor is real to them because they're only in third density consciousness. So it's pointless to try to establish for people in third density whether or not the egregors are real, because they they fully believe they're real, and they're not going to change that opinion until they change their consciousness. So it's pointless to try to explain to them how they're not real. None of the egregors are real. None of the thought forms are real. To us, I guess to us that are not in third density, it's not real to me. It has no power whatsoever to me, but it does to them. So to them it is real, but it's just vain imagining. So I hope this made sense. Leave your comments if you have any questions, if you have any. and love, unity, and light. Until next time, my friends. But meditate on that. Meditate on that. Think about this. Think it through. If the absolute is the sun and all the rays are the relative, then no matter how complex and divided we get with those rays, because the rays can divide in a myriad of ways, right? But no matter what, no matter how many there are, no matter how divided it is, no matter how far out away from the sun you get on one of those rays, do they not all connect back to the sun, the source? And without that source, none of the rays exist. So what would be left if the sun went out? The great void. The great void. So all you need to figure out is, are you that sun? Or are you one with that sun? And if you want, let's just speak about Jesus again real fast. If you want to make Jesus your master, fine. He makes a great master. He's full of wisdom, full of understanding of what's beyond the veil. But don't make him your God. Don't make him a deity. Again, because you're putting him into that category of thought form, of vain imagining. Jesus does not want to be your God. He never did want to be anybody's God. No more than any other master that's been here wants to be your God. Nobody wants to be your God. Nobody does. Because it's improper. Because again, you are the absolute, or you are one with the absolute. And therefore you don't need any deities. You don't need any deities because they don't do a thing unless you're in third density. And then it's only your imagination. Hopefully it makes sense. Love, unity, and light. See you next time.